is in crisis right now, whether you want to believe it or not. Drugs are infecting our community, and they're hitting us where it hurts most, the youth. According to the SADD, Students Against Dangerous Decisions, 1/2 of students try drugs before they end high school. That is a disgusting figure. That means that 1/2 of the students in our school are criminals. Now, my opponents may say that just trying a drug isn't that bad, but according to a study done in schools in the Boston area, students who tried drugs before they left high school had a 68% chance of being addicted to drugs or using drugs on a daily basis in the near future. Drugs are all around us. Look at our TV shows and movies. How many of them advertise drugs and use drugs in a comical manner? The only way to fight drugs is to encourage students to stay away from them. And the only way to do that is to institute a mandatory school drug test. Now, the main purpose of our drug test will be to put fear into the hearts of students. We need to show them that drugs are bad. And not only will you be punished in the law, but you'll also be punished physically. We want to help these students. We want to deter them from ruining their lives. And if that means they have to be suspended from school, then so be it. It's for the betterment of their future. Right now, students have nothing to fear. That's why 1/2 of the students are getting away with using drugs. Schools need the ability to fight drugs, and the way to do that is to have drug testing. In reality, what do students have to fear? If I don't take drug tests, what do I have to fear from a drug test? All I have to fear is peeing in a cup. That's it. Drug testing are only meant for those who use drugs. Drugs are evil and they will destroy a student's health. When used for an extended period of time, drugs can decrease a student's IQ by approximately 10 points and drop a student's GPA by 1/2 a point. Students who use or are addicted to drugs need our help. And according to the No Child Left Behind bill, drug tests need to be fought in order to help students to succeed in the future and to get into college. Now, our plan is to have every student in the school be tested at least twice a year for drugs. Students will begin testing at 7th grade. The test will be completely random, and no student will be notified ahead of time when their test will be. They will just receive a slip in homeroom telling them to report to the nurse's office at the given time. Once at the nurse's office, the students will be given a urine test or a breath test. First the urine, then the breath test, to find out if the student is on drugs. The test will only check to see if the student is on drugs and will not check for alcohol or steroids or cigarettes. If evidence is found for these 3 cases, it will not be held against the student and will be dropped. If a student does test positive for the drug, they will return to the nurse's office for a follow-up test that will be analyzed by a trained professional. And if those tests return positive, then the student will have a meeting with their parents and the principal to discuss further arrangements. If a student is found positive on both drug tests, they will be suspended from school for 10 days and be forced to take a drug rehab course for 3 months, following school every day. According to Above the Influence, the #1 reason that teenagers use drugs is peer pressure. Students will fear drugs if there is a drug test and have an excuse to avoid peer pressure. Drug testing can target social leaders such as club presidents or leaders of sports teams and help deter them away from drugs as well. If we can start hitting drugs at the top of the social ladder, it can work its way down and help all students to deter from drugs. In conclusion, school drug testing will benefit all students because they will reduce the drug use in our schools. Drugs target the brain and affect motor functions and problem-solving skills. Research done at Harvard University showed that students who used drugs showed a large decrease in motor functions and were unable to use their basic problem-solving skills. Do we really want this to happen to our students? Can we sacrifice a few simple rights in order to help those in our community who need it? We can, and it is our duty to do so. Thank you, and vote affirmative.